So yeah, that's just a little bit of progress update as to what I've been up to. You might recognize the old channel, Phoenix and Dam. That one no longer is where I reside. I'm residing on this one now. And yeah, hopefully we can get this first project of the channel back together. My goal is to have it running, driving, all that. And of course, to teach anybody else that's also learning about these engines a thing or three. First off, on these Chinesiums, you see this type of master cylinder. Yeah, throw that in the trash. For something of this size of a scooter, it don't look that big, but it's a lot bigger than that one. And that one has two wheels in the front. Fun fact, the front end of this was originally going to go on to this, but it actually drove nice, and I think I can get a title for it, so why cut up a perfectly good frame? But anyways, back to topic. Yeah, I bought a new one of these to replace this old master cylinder here. I'd bled the brakes, and then I didn't have brakes. I actually crashed on this thing because of that. It literally got me in an accident. Hence these scratches here and here and here, and why this side panel's missing, and why that's taped. Literally crashed on it. Yeah, don't do that. I had to hit the front brake around a corner, and I went down on the ground. All because that wouldn't work. Not this one, not this exact one. It was one of these cheap ones I paid like $8 for through Amazon, and this nut had literally fell off, and this bolt had popped out, and this lever right here had flown away. And so, yeah, I took that off. We put the old one back on. I rebuilt it, and I actually ran a brand new brake line, which you're gonna hate this, but I used office tape to cushion it, prevent it from rubbing. I've done this countless of times, and I've never had anything bad result from that. But I will be replacing it later with the proper bushing. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. And we replaced this, bled this, and all that. And it still didn't work. So then I swapped over the caliper. I've done all sorts of stuff. So then what I finally had to do was I actually took all this out, laid it right here on the ground, and I gravity bled with it sitting out of the thing and with this sitting up here. Push all the air out, make sure all the air got out of it. And it works pretty decent. But now, my braking issue is, it doesn't stop immediately. It kind of just creeps to a stop. And that's fine and dandy, because, you know, I hate locking up, but what I hate more is when my brakes don't work. Yeah. And until we get my future video I plan on doing is fixing this here engine with this stupid falling apart stuff. I'm pretty sure that stator is not coming back off. Pretty sure. I may have red Loctited the hell out of it. And I will be doing a video on how to replace the head and all that on 150. This one, and then we'll work on the brakes. And I think our problem is, I think the disc might be glazed. Because these are new brake pads, new caliper, new line, new master, all that. And it's still terrible. So that's just the future stuff. Right now, I am knocking out all the electrical. If anyone knows where to find one of these button panels, let me know. And a replacement switch for this side. I really, really like how the handlebars are set up. It's kind of motorcycle, dirt bike-ish. I like that. I've never had a scooter like that besides my moped. And yeah, so basically what we're doing is I have converted the scooter over to a DC CDI. Basically that is switching it from using power from the stator to power up the engine. We are actually using the battery to power up the engine. And you know, there's my battery box, I know. It looks horrible, I know. Don't judge. But look, I actually smart enough to put a fuse in for once. So, plan is you can't obviously have the DC stator hooked up 24/7. That's how you fry, or not the stator, sorry. CDI, that's how you fry it. So the plan is we're gonna install some switches and a active light. This was, where did it go? Where did it go? We'll just simulate with one of these. Oh, there it is. Dummy. And this will be our active light. It's a blue LED that I pulled out of the dash of the trike. And yeah, it should work. Emphasis on should. So basically whenever I want to hop on, I hit that, click that. And I'm going to have 3 other switches for like fuel pump or headlights or some other stuff. I have a CB radio for this thing. All sorts of fun little gadgets. A Dixie horn, actually. That switch is going to go over here. And all this is just going to be switches for all sorts of stuff. So when I get in, I flip this on. Boop, boop, boop. Everything's powered up. The issue is the headlights. Headlights are killing this poor little battery that goes down in here. What you should do is you should update it to an 11-pole stator with the rectifier and blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't pay $200 for that stuff. We deal with what we got around here. And, yeah, for example, I'm literally in a side yard. This is my garage, is a side yard. With a plane flying overhead, you're going to be deaf for about 5 minutes. And most of the time, it's just going to be me yapping, because I don't have a tripod or anything like that. But, yeah, once we get that out of here, we should be able to actually work on this thing and have a video about it. So, yeah. And so, naturally, we should be having this thing up and going in no time. The big thing I want to iterate when you're doing wiring is knowing what power, knowing how it's all powered. Because a mistake I did with the trike was I went ahead and, oh, you're going to love this. My seat? Yeah, what seat? It just falls off. Let's see, in the box of junk, a little treasure trove. I don't see them. Oh, there they are. So, this is obviously an LED. And LEDs go in here, they make your dash light up, do all sorts of funny stuff. You know, they look cool. The importance of doing any kind of lighting wiring with these scooters is knowing how it's powered and what bulb you need. For example, I put these in the in this little thing here. It blinded the hell out of me at night, and I almost like went into a ditch. I kid you not. They shone like a star for 2.5 seconds. And the reason for that was because I jammed a DC powered LED into an AC powered circuit. So when it blinded the hell out of me randomly, yeah, that was because it was not rated. So when you do this kind of work, make sure you know exactly how it's powered. For example, on this one, I followed the wire back and it said that it was DC powered. It ran straight through the ignition switch to the battery. And I thought, okay, but what I didn't see was that the main light was actually also wired in. Pardon me. It gets very loud up here with these airplanes. I live right next to an airport, so it's really wonderful. Anyways, headlight is powered through an AC circuit. So what happens is it backfeeds through the dash to tell it that the headlight's on, and then it blew out every last one of my bulbs. Those are gone. Junk. So I have completely switched this scooter, learning from my mistakes, to DC. So this headlight, that's DC. This horn, meet, that's DC. Kill switch, well, obviously the kill switch was never AC powered. All the power through this thing is DC, minus the blinkers. The blinkers already came with that. And also, later in the future, we're going to be wiring up custom gauges, because if you may notice, the speedometer is broken. And, excuse me, I've tried repairing it. I took it all apart. There's no fixing it. The internals are all sorts of screwed up. Best one of these I can find on eBay was about $180 minus shipping. And that was in Europe. And I said, you know what? I can make do with less. And obviously you gotta have a speedometer. So we're gonna make something custom here. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be custom. I like to fabricate. And yeah. And for anybody that's kind of irritated about me talking, it's mostly gonna be me talking. It's really hard to film stuff I'm doing. So, yeah. I just mostly just kind of say it to give somebody else ideas or hope if I want to Chinese them. Little thing. Yeah, I have a little egg crate back here. If you just notice that. It's really gas station material. But, yeah, it's mostly just that. Yeah. So, yeah, it's basically about all there is. If you'd like to see more of the tadpole, I guess follow along, because that's going to be coming back. I haven't decided if I'm going to cut the front end up officially and mount it to this, because this does drive a little squirrely, and I actually bought this thing to turn into a normal trike. That is a tilt trike, so it tilts around the corner, and goes vroom vroom and a la kaboom. So I guess let me know if you want to see that. The frames are actually the same width, so they would literally weld right up. So yeah, it's just that one's a 50cc. It's got to have a 150 conversion. It needs a title. It's in 9,000 pieces. The wiring is junk. Yeah, it's just that. Well, we might bring it around. We might not. I actually drove this in the wintertime. It does donuts. Really good donuts. In fact, I accidentally had a friend of mine actually lift this thing up on 2 wheels. On those 20-year-old tires that you see. Yeah, that's safe with those giant spikes of doom right there. I welded that, and the fender flew off at 40 miles an hour. Yep, yep. So that was funny to watch me cry in terror. So yeah, that's it for most of these updates. I got a lot of wiring to do. Mostly it's just, like I said earlier, we're just running it to this pin and this pin. This is out of a camper. You can buy them on Amazon for about $4. Overnight shipping. So if you ever need it in a hurry, there it is. I figured this would be perfect to run my DC kill switch. It's a lot better than ripping the loom apart. And it actually kind of gives something to all this. I've got some light up switches that are going to go up here too, so it'll look nice and fancy. As the good Lord intended. But yeah, I'll have some photos of what it looks like here in a minute. I'm going to do a little short of basically the before and after. And you'd be impressed how close this looks like to an actual 96 Yamaha Majesty. In fact, the seat is off of a 96 Yamaha. Yep. It bolted right on top of a Chinesium frame. The frame is direct to a Yamaha. This fits on a Yamaha. This is their own design, but from this panel forward, all Yamaha. So if y'all happen to have a 96 Yamaha Majesty parts, let me know. That aren't meth head price, because we're poor around here. And yeah. So I guess I'll see y'all later.